that offer sheet was kind of fun. In fact,
yeah, but how mad were you when you woke up to that? Because it didn't have a Calgary Flames attached to it. Like if you'd have woke up and Conroy had slapped that out there, you'd have been like,
just because Boomer's here, you don't need to be negative. I was happy, but I would have been ecstatic.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was bad. Yeah.
I think the Flames considered it. I don't know. They didn't have their own third that they was required to do the Holloway offer sheet because it's tied up in some really unlikely condition with the Montreal Monahan thing, which continues to haunt the Flames, by the way.
Oh, good.
So that wouldn't have allowed them to do both, or they'd have to make a trade with Montreal to get it back, but then you got to pay more because Montreal knows you're up to something. Oh, you want your own third back? Okay, well, we're not.
They would have done it.
Sure, but you'd have to give them more than you should because they're the only team that owns your third, and you need your third to do the offer sheet.
I just wondered if those kids weren't too excited.
But I think they considered Broberg. It's a really challenging evaluation because if you'd asked me what Phillip Broberg was in April, I'd say, well, he's a guy that couldn't crack the top 7 defensemen on the Edmonton Oilers. And he's
just not
24, and he's a first rounder that they passed on Zegras, Boldy, Caulfield to take this kid. It looked like a reach then. It certainly has played out to be a reach. Oh, we need D. You could trade Cole Caulfield for a lot of D. But so I would have said he's probably, neighboring on bust territory, that this is now turning into project and less prospect. But then they drop him into the Western Conference Final against Dallas, and he plays top 4 minutes. He looks great. And then against Florida, he's playing top 4 minutes ahead of guys like CC. Like he legitimately had no trouble with the pace. He's 6'3", he's super mobile. So the truth's probably somewhere in the middle, but like you could have made a really compelling case at points last year. He's absolutely a top 4 defenseman, and he could be a top pair guy. And you could also made the case he's not good enough to be in the NHL. So I love the Blues bet they're making, because I think playing as well as you did on the stage you did at that time isn't easy. But it wouldn't have been more than a month prior where it'd have been like, yeah, I don't even know he's a prospect anymore. So I don't know what to make of it. I love it. I think it's great. And really what it does is it's a GM using the tools they've been given in the CBA to try to go get talent.
It up again. Yeah. Yeah. I think it should happen more. We all do.
And I think we will see it more, because
it
used to be an old boys club, these GMs, and they'd go drinking together and they all used to play together. And I just think, not unlike baseball, like they used to joke that if you wanted to break news in the baseball industry, you go to these winter meetings and all the GMs get blasted together at the same pub, and that's where deals would get made. Mm-hmm. That culture's gone. Like, people are saying, oh, Doug Armstrong wouldn't have done this if Kenny Holland's there. And I was like, okay, well, that may or may not be true. But the point is that there's more guys that don't have relationships like Doug Armstrong and Ken Holland do left than guys that do have those. Perfect. They're not pals like they used to be. Yeah. And so I think they're not worried about making someone else's life miserable as much. Now, there's got to be unique situations where offer sheets even make sense. The player has to be in a certain spot in his careir. There's got to be a team in a cap pinch. They can't file for arbitration. They're very, very small instances where they actually could be used, but I think that we'll see them more. I do.
And speaking specifically about this one, I just feel like the Flames probably were sniffing around it.
Yeah, I talked to people.
Broberg has to be someone where it's like he can't play in our.
You're telling me that Daniil Miramanov can play top 4 minutes, but Phillip Broberg can't? I'm not buying that.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to.
And, there's a left-right thing, but Mackenzie Weegar's a right shot guy that's played the left the whole time.
Right.
Put him back to the right if you need to.
You're overthinking of defensemen aren't that deep that you should be overthinking them.
I agree. And if the St.
Louis
Blues
got to want to come here too. Like if there was a couple different options.
He was offered 1.1 and his ask was 1.8, and he ended up getting 4.58. That's what's been reported, if my numbers are correct. So I think Phillip Broberg is going to 31 other NHL teams with that offer sheet at $4.58 million versus the 1.1 the Edmonton Oilers offered him. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.